I want to tell you about how my time with God is sometimes like watching dominoes just falling one against another and going in places I hadn't thought of ahead of time. This morning it was, as I began my time with God, prayer journaling out how I was doing, and I got to where I was asking God to meet me in my inner being. That's not a problem for Him. It is a problem for me and probably for you to actually meet God in our inner being instead of keeping everything outward. That put me on a trajectory of a whole bunch of thoughts about how important it is to God that we meet Him in the Spirit in our inner being, our inner self. Now, to help you understand how at least my mind works, I want you to picture a single column chart with 4 rows, 4 levels. And I use this to picture in my mind where I'm at in relating to God. So with these 4 rows in this one column, the top row is what I call my outer me. It's the person that we all have that decides how much we will show other people about who we are. And that will change from situation to situation, from person to person. We will have one kind of outer me person that goes to work, maybe another one that is with our families. And that can change because we're always focused on what do I feel safe to share or to show with anyone outwardly. The second layer down, the next row, I call the problem me. So as you journey from your outer self inwardly, usually we get to all these problems. And as we gauge our outer me in relation to other people, we will start sharing problems in our lives that we feel safe to talk about. Underneath the problem me, the third row down, I call our traumatized me. The part of us that carries our wounds, the childhood trauma, the hurts, the heartaches, the justice issues, all that stuff that can happen to us. And then the fourth row down, the bottom one, is the inner me. That's where I am. And the problem is, a lot of people who say they believe in Jesus do not know themselves in their inner self. It's all outward. Now guess where most people want God to direct His attention? Most of us want Him to start on the outside stuff. We don't want Him to come inside. That's what we do with people, right? We start outwardly and they have to earn the right to be led any deeper. But that's not the way God works. God aims for the heart. God's full intention right this minute is to meet His children in their inner me part. So that took me to some Bible verses that talk about this very thing. It started with Paul's prayer in Ephesians 3, where he prayed that believers would be filled with power by the Holy Spirit in our inner being. Paul didn't pray, God, make everything work out outwardly. He prayed, meet your people in their inner being. Let them experience the power of the Holy Spirit in their inner being. Because guess what? If we meet with God in the power of the Holy Spirit in our inner being, that heals trauma. It solves problems. And it shows us how to express ourselves outwardly so that the outer me is the same as my inner me. That brought me to that psalm where David repented of his horrible sin with Bathsheba. And in verse 6, he describes how God was meeting him in his inner being. And then he said, God desires truth in the secret heart. Do you have a secret heart? Of course you do. I don't know what it is for you, but we all have one. And I'm saying this because the starting place today would simply be, are you willing to tell God that you are going to submit to Him in His work to speak truth into your secret heart? Some believers are frustrated because they're trying to keep God outward. Stay outward. I'll teach Sunday school. I'll run a youth group. I'll help run a program. I'll attend church. I'll give money. Keep it outward. Let everybody think I'm a good Christian. But God will take us inside. And I can speak it as a testimony. That often means discovering, maybe even admitting to ourselves, I'm not doing nearly as well on the inside as I portray on the outside. It's a lot of dominoes, eh? And what they're to encourage us in is quit fighting God. Quit positioning your self-protection to keep God out of your secret heart. You'll never get to know God as the God who heals the brokenhearted and binds up our wounds if we're always keeping Him away from our wounds and how we're doing underneath them. So I'm out here at my prayer spot. I'm going to talk to God about this some more. But the thing I'm leaving with you is surrender to the work of Jesus Christ to not only lead you into your secret heart, but to meet you there, and by the power of the Holy Spirit, to do something today to make you more like Him.